Hey guys, this is Amit and you're watching Tech Dad. In this video, we are going to compare between Vivo V23 Pro 5G versus Oppo Reno 6 Pro 5G. And we will discuss which one is better in camera, performance, display, body of the devices, features, communication chips and about the prices. At the end of the video, I'm gonna tell you which one is better according to me. So watch this video till the end. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Let the comparison start with the camera of the devices. Talking about the rear camera of the devices, V23 Pro have triple camera setup, 108 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera and 2 megapixel of macro camera. Whereas 6 Pro comes with quad camera setup, 64 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera, 2 megapixel of macro camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor. So the winner here is V23 Pro because it have 108 megapixel of wide camera which can take high resolution of photos. Let's talk about the selfie camera of the devices. V23 Pro have dual camera setup, 50 megapixel of wide camera and another one is 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera. Whereas 6 Pro comes with 32 megapixel of wide camera. So the winner here is V23 Pro because it have dual camera setup at the front which can take high resolution of selfies and ultra wide shots. Let's talk about the camera features of the devices. V23 Pro have dual tone dual LED flash, HDR and panorama. Whereas 6 Pro have LED flash, HDR and panorama. So the winner here is V23 Pro. And about the video recording options in the devices, V23 Pro can shoot 4K video max at 30 fps, Full HD video max at 30 fps. Whereas 6 Pro can shoot 4K video max at 30 fps, Full HD video max at 60 fps with gyro electronic image stabilization. So the winner here is 6 Pro. Because it can shoot Full HD video max at 60 fps and it have gyro electronic image stabilization which can stabilize your video footage. Moving to the performance of the devices, let's start with the operating system of the devices. V23 Pro have Android 12 support. On the other side, 6 Pro also have Android 11 support. So the winner here is V23 Pro because it have newer generation of operating system. And about the user interface of the devices, V23 Pro have Fun Touch UI, whereas 6 Pro comes with Color OS. So it's a tie because both of the interface have different UI. So it's up to you which UI you like it or not, it's up to you. Let's talk about the processor of the devices. V23 Pro is powered by Dimensity 1200 5G based on 6nm processor, whereas 6 Pro is powered by Dimensity 1200 5G based on 6nm processor. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same processor which can give you same amount of processing speed. And about the GPU of the devices, V23 Pro is packed with Mali G77, whereas 6 Pro is packed with Mali G77 also. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same GPU which can give you same amount of FPS in games. Let's talk about the clock speed of the devices. V23 Pro can clock at 3.0 GHz based on octa-core Cortex chipset, whereas 6 Pro can clock at 3.0 GHz based on octa-core Cortex chipset. So again it's a tie because both of the devices have same clock speed. And about the RAM variants in the devices, V23 Pro have 8 and 12 GB of RAM variant, whereas 6 Pro have 8 and 12 GB of RAM variant too. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same RAM options. Let's talk about the internal storage of the devices. V23 Pro comes with 128 and 256 GB of storage, whereas 6 Pro have 128 and 256 GB of storage. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same read and write speed. And about the external storage of the devices, V23 Pro did not have any external card slot option, whereas 6 Pro also did not have. So it's a tie. Moving to the display features of the devices, let's start with the display size of the devices. V23 Pro have 6.56 inches of display, whereas 6 Pro also have 6.55 inches of display. So the winner here is V23 Pro because it have bigger screen size. And about the screen to body ratio of the devices, V23 Pro have approx 89.5%, whereas 6 Pro have 88.6%. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same ratio. Let's talk about the screen resolution of the devices. V23 Pro comes with Full HD Plus display. On the other hand, 6 Pro also have Full HD Plus display. So it's a tie. And about the display type of the devices, V23 Pro have AMOLED display having 90Hz of refresh rate with HDR10+ support, whereas 6 Pro have Fluid AMOLED display having 90Hz of refresh rate with HDR10+ support. So it's a tie because both of the display have approx the same property. Moving to the body features of the devices, let's start with the thickness of the devices. V23 Pro have 7.4 mm of thickness, whereas 6 Pro have 7.6 mm of thickness. So it's a tie because both of the devices have slimmer body. Talking about the weight of the devices, V23 Pro comes with 171 grams of weight, whereas 6 Pro have 177 grams of weight. So it's a tie because both of the devices have approx the same body weight. And about the protective glass of the devices, V23 Pro have Scotch Sensation Up Alpha Glass, whereas 6 Pro have Gorilla Glass 5. So it's a tie because both of the protective glass can give you same amount of durability. Let's talk about the build quality of the devices. V23 Pro have glass back, whereas 6 Pro have glass back. So it's a tie because both of the devices have solid build quality. And about the SIM options in the devices, both of the devices have dual nano SIM support, so it's a tie. Moving to some of the most important features of the devices, let's start with the fingerprint scanner of the devices. V23 Pro have under-display fingerprint scanner. On the other side, 6 Pro have under-display fingerprint scanner, so it's a tie. And about the sensors in the devices, V23 Pro have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass, whereas 6 Pro also have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass, so it's a tie. Let's talk about the battery capacity of the devices. V23 Pro have 4300 mAh of battery capacity, whereas 6 Pro also have 4500 mAh of battery capacity. So the winner here is 6 Pro because it have bigger battery capacity. Let's talk about the charging speed of the devices. V23 Pro have 44 watts of fast charging, whereas 6 Pro have 65 watts of fast charging. So the winner here is 6 Pro because it have faster charging speed. Let's talk about the loudspeaker of the devices. V23 Pro comes with normal speakers, whereas 6 Pro have normal speakers, so it's a tie. And about the headphone jack of the devices, V23 Pro did not have any 3.5mm of headphone jack, whereas 6 Pro also did not have, so it's a tie. Moving to the communication chips in the devices, starting with the WLAN of the devices. Both of the devices have dual band Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi direct and hotspot, but 6 Pro have 6th generation of Wi-Fi, which provides better range. So the winner here is 6 Pro. And about the Bluetooth version of the devices. V23 Pro have 5.2 generation of Bluetooth, whereas 6 Pro have 5.2 generation of Bluetooth. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same generation of Bluetooth. Let's talk about the positioning chips in the devices. V23 Pro have AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo, BDS, QSS and NAVIC, whereas 6 Pro have dual band AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo, BDS, SBS and QSS. So the winner here is 6 Pro because it have many chips. And about the USB connectivity of the devices, V23 Pro comes with 2nd gen of Type-C connector with OTG support, whereas 6 Pro have 2nd gen of Type-C connector with OTG support, so it's a tie. Moving to the price of the devices, in the international market, price of V23 Pro is around $500, whereas 6 Pro is available from $500. In the Indian market, V23 Pro have starting range from 39,000 rupees, whereas 6 Pro is available from 38,000 rupees. So the conclusion of the video is, in the camera, the winner here is V23 Pro. In the performance, it's a tie. In the display, it's a tie. In the body segment, it's a tie. In the features of the device, it's a tie. In the communication chips, it's a tie. And about the prices, the winner here is V23 Pro. So the decision is totally yours. Which device you like the most so far, and let me know in the comment below. What do you think, which device is better for you? So thank you guys for watching this video. If you like our content, please like our video, share this video and subscribe to our channel. Comment what you thought in the comment below. If you're watching this video on Facebook, please like our page TechDad. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, here's my Instagram ID on the screen. This is Amit and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, bye.